As of recently, there's been a lot of talks about the MTA implementing platform screen doors or another form of barriers throughout the subway system. Platform screen doors, or PSDs, are commonly seen in transit systems around the world, primarily in Europe and Asia. With their success in other transit systems and New York's growing issues with passengers falling or even being pushed onto the tracks, the MTA is looking into installing this type of tech in the system. In this video, we'll be discussing whether this is a good idea for the system or if the MTA should look into other solutions to the issue of people falling onto the tracks. If you like this video and would like to see me cover more topics like this in the future, like, subscribe, and consider supporting me via channel memberships or super thanks. Before we get into talking about whether platform screen doors should actually be installed across the system, let's talk a bit about what they actually are. Platform screen doors, primarily used for passenger safety, are large see-through walls with doors in them, used to separate the platform from train tracks. These barriers are widely used in transit systems in Europe and Asia. Unfortunately, the United States doesn't really have any examples of platform screen doors, when you're not counting our various airport people movers. This issue of the United States not really utilizing this technology stems from our lack of adaptation to the standards widely seen outside of the country. We do not have the best transit networks in the world, but we can change that. New York City could very well have one of the best transit networks in the world if we used more techniques seen in other cities. We can't be content with what we have now, we have to look to improve it for the future. Now, implementing new technology throughout the system is a good practice, but it doesn't really apply to everything. New York City, as I've said before, has a huge issue of people falling or being pushed in front of subway trains. But is the full implementation of platform screen doors really the best solution? Trust me, I believe they are necessary at some stations to keep riders safe, but it would just not be cost effective to implement them all across the system. Actually, it wouldn't even be possible in certain places because of how small some of our platforms are. That's only one of the issues though. The other one that presents itself is the fact that we have many different trains in the system that have differing door widths and locations. Platform screen doors would only really work on lines that use rolling stock with the same door placements, and even then, what if another line with differing rolling stock gets rerouted? Until we have a standard for rolling stock design, I don't see platform screen doors being widely implemented throughout the system. I can see some of our new stations having them, like maybe along the new Interborough Express line, or the proposed 10th Avenue station on the 7, but retrofitting a line like Broadway to have them is just impossible at the moment. This doesn't mean that we should stop trying to install them in the system. I think they would be useful to have at some of the most crowded and congested stations, like Times Square on the 7. But we need to make sure that they are implemented in a way that does not sacrifice the flexibility of the system. The New York City subway system was designed in a way to allow interlining and easy rerouting of trains. We are flexible in that nature, and that is something that we should not sacrifice for PSDs. The MTA plans to test out a pilot program for the platform screen doors. This program will see the doors installed at 3 stations in the system: Times Square on the 7, 3rd Avenue on the L, and Sutphin Boulevard on the E will all be receiving platform screen doors in the next few years. It's great to see the MTA at least testing out this tech, but it does come at a cost. The project is estimated to cost over $100 million, which is a high price tag for only 3 stations. This makes me think that there might be other solutions to the issues we face in the system. One of these solutions might be track incursion technology, which is able to detect when an unauthorized person is on the tracks. The MTA is said to be testing out this technology alongside the implementation of the platform screen doors. While this doesn't prevent people from jumping in front or getting pushed in front of trains, it might help with random people just being on the tracks. If an unauthorized person is detected on the tracks, police can be called right away to handle the issue. It could also impose a restriction on trains in the area, preventing that person from being struck by one. The other solution might be to, control crime in the city, but that's a political issue. Even though this doesn't completely solve the issue, it is an alternative to the costly process of retrofitting the entire system with these doors. Yes, they would make things safer in the system, and I am not against them, unlike many quote-unquote rail fans who don't want them to obstruct their views of the trains, but at the expense of over $30 million per station, it adds up pretty quickly. Should we be able to find a way to install them for a cheaper price, then they should definitely be more widely installed. But as of right now, I think they are only required at the more congested stations, and elsewhere, it might be best to look into other solutions, like the ones I just mentioned. One of them, solving or reducing crime in the system, would actually help with much more, like encouraging people to not use their personal vehicles and take public transportation to their destination when available. Tell me your thoughts on platform screen doors for New York City in the comments section below. And if you enjoyed this video and you would like to get more from Mystic Transit, like, subscribe, and consider supporting me via channel memberships or super thanks. Special thanks to Stuart Guberman for joining the channel at the train operator tier.